All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 9th edition of Daily Palantir Shareholder Meeting Club, or Daily Palantir Shareholder Club Meeting, however you want to call it. Either way, got to give it a long name because that's how we have fun with this. It is June 12th, 2023. We had a very exciting day in the world of Palantir. We've got a lot to talk about. We got price upgrades. We got stuff going on in the macro. We've got the Fed raising rates or potentially pausing, what that means for Palantir. And obviously, we've got a lot more interest in the company in more of the mainstream as CNBC and other companies, TD Ameritrade, et cetera, start talking more about Palantir. Drew Jr., Cameron, Vincent, Crossroads, Blake Anderson, Sona, Broccoli, Bob, Exomizix, Mike Arcalanjo, Midwest. Thank you all for being here. Ramu, Juan, Carlos, Midwest. All right, we've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to get in there. Philip Rizzo, yo, Buffy. I have my second monitor open. And the reason I have my second monitor open is because this morning, I don't know if you guys, if anyone was there for the live stream, we had like 650 people. Okay, it was pretty cool. And for some reason, I forgot to press unmute after I was leaving a segment. I was going from Netflix to AI. And I was doing the study about AI in the market, catering at like 38%. And I just switched tabs and I forget to press unmute, even though I could have sworn I pressed the unmute button. And for 4 minutes, I'm silent, like purely silent. No, you're not going to get me with the you're muted nonsense this time. I'm not falling for it. Everyone tries to do that at the end. And for 4 minutes, I'm quiet. And it was so sad. Like it made me feel so sad the entire day that those 4 minutes I was just silent. Because I'm like, that's such a simple mistake that shouldn't be happening. It's so funny. I actually remember watching Meet Kevin a while ago. And Meet Kevin was doing a live stream in front of like 4,000 people. And he had pressed mute for 7 minutes. So he forgot to unmute himself for 7 minutes. And I think this is like a year ago. And I'm watching him just like go hardcore, make his analysis, all this stuff. Like he's on fire. He thinks what he's saying is good. It makes sense. And the next thing you know, he's muted. And he's like, damn, 7 minutes went by. So that kind of sucked. That was pretty annoying. But that's why I have the second tab available to me now to make sure that I am looking at the chat constantly in case I am muted, which hopefully I don't make that mistake again. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. D. Edwards, what's up, Amid? John, TD Ameritrade is in love with Palantir now. Yeah, I know you guys have seen those videos on YouTube pop up, huh? I was in a different tab and thought my Wi-Fi went out as I was just writing. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. I can't even explain how annoying it was. Okay, so let's get into the biggest news of the day, which is the price target increase by Bank of America. Okay, so I did a Twitter thread on it. I want to read through that thread and explain a little bit more about what I'm thinking right here. This was absolutely the biggest news of the day. And let me timestamp this for those that are here. So at 3 o'clock, we're doing this. So here we go at 3:01. Okay, so what was the biggest news of the day? The biggest news was that Bank of America increased their price targets on Palantir. And they increased them pretty substantially. They went from a $13 price target, which, to be fair, that was one of the best price targets we had seen, honestly, in a long time compared to everyone else. Most people had us at $7, $8, et cetera, et cetera. Bank of America always had us at 13, 14. And 13, 14 is not bad, but today they said we're going to go to 18 bucks. And 18 is about $40 billion of a market cap. Why? Right? What is the reason for this? Why did they go through this? Let's talk about it. So today, Bank of America increased their price target from 13 to 18, but their logic behind the price raise is what's making me the most excited. Most people are assuming Bank of America is recognizing the growing AI market and Palantir's ability to capitalize on this, and that would be an elementary way of analyzing the price target increase. While this is true, there are also many other AI players. Bank of America is upgrading Palantir to an almost $40 billion market cap with no changes in guidance from the company. Again, Alex Karp and company have said 18% year-over-year growth, about $2.2 billion in revenue. Nothing's necessarily going to change. So what's the real reason for the upgrade? It can't just be that they're an AI play, right? In the note, BofA said a growing number of companies that are eager to use generative AI are facing compliance, regulatory, ethical, privacy rights, data security, and accountability oversight requirements. And this paragraph right here is exactly why. It is exactly why we have seen the increase in price target. It is the only reason, because this is exactly what CEO Alex Karp has been saying for a year. Most people have ignored Karp when he goes on a tangent for data governance because they believe he's speaking too philosophically about data. And I'm saying this because this is the truth. If you were there in 2022, not 2023, 2022, even probably a little bit of 2023, If you were there all throughout 2022, I'm talking about the whole year, every shareholder lever, every earnings call, everyone. I did an entire 40-minute debate with ticker symbol U on my channel, which you guys can still find if you just look it up. Where he's complaining that the company's too philosophical. Like every single bull is just like Palantir is too philosophical, Karp is not talking enough numbers, blah, 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 blah. And honestly, I was just like, this is bullshit because the stuff he's talking about actually matters. The numbers don't highlight it yet. The macro doesn't highlight it yet because we had like 9% inflation. So it's not going to highlight it. But what he's saying matters. And I, was more easily I believed it more easily because I tend to think more philosophically, but nonetheless, it was correct. It's why many analysts have felt Palantir's lack of a pricing strategy around AI is also the downside for them since they don't have a real plan to capitalize on the market. Karp's argument has been that they don't need a pricing strategy if they can capture the whole market, which begs the question, how do you capture the whole market? You do it by doing the one thing other companies aren't doing when it comes to implementing AI. This is the 0 to 1 approach that Palantir has on AI, and that is focus on doing it the right way. Okay. Now, Karp has spoken around the philosophy of data privacy intimately over the past year as he has seen the increased need for companies to have a secure relationship with their data. These are all the shareholder letters where he's talking philosophically in the dialect of in the hermeneutic dialect that he speaks in order to get the message across, using German academic words, all that stuff. You cannot implement something as complex as AI into an enterprise if you cannot guarantee the data won't be misused, manipulated, leaked, etc. And that is what Bank of America truly realized today. So when Karp issued shareholder letters over the past year explaining what Palantir's relationship with data, he was ridiculed for not focusing on the numbers. The irony is that the numbers come from actually building a foundation around data privacy and security, especially as countries began to regulate the living you-know-what out of companies using AI. If the UK is regulating you, if the entire continent of Europe is regulating you, if America is getting ready to regulate AI companies, then the only thing that allows an enterprise or that stands in between an enterprise and AI adaptability is the ability to actually implement it in a way that is within a regulatory framework. And that's exactly what Cisco, which is one of Palantir's big clients, said at AIPCon. Bank of America today realized there are very few companies, if any, that can truly build AI infrastructure to implement into an organization in a way that protects the confidentiality of data. Now, their logic was based on two things. Number one, they talked with a bunch of clients, and all those clients were like, yeah, Palantir is the real deal. Okay. Number two, Palantir's work in the government makes them more prepared than others to bring that same level of security down to commercial enterprises. This is why I asked the Edwin dude, the Bear Report dude, about IL6. He was like, yo, literally, I asked him that question, and he was like, it doesn't matter. It's just the government consulting firm. And Bank of America today literally said the relationship Palantir has with government sector work in terms of the confidentiality of data that they protect, like the freaking nuclear codes, is the reason why enterprises are more likely to trust them and work with them when it comes to implementing AI. When you're one of 3 companies that's used by the DoD to protect data, you've got a big shot. You've got a big shot. So, I mean, the final thing I said was that Karp is proving to be, for lack of a better word, prophetic when it comes to how the world will interact with data. If AI is going to lead to trillions of dollars of value, then the only way companies benefit from AI is if they can actually implement it in a way that is in line with regulatory and ethical frameworks. And Bank of America today realized that there's not enough companies like Palantir. So if this market's catering to going to be $2-4 trillion by 2033, then one of the only companies that can implement AI in this type of AI infrastructure at the intersection of data privacy is Palantir, and that is their competitive advantage. And that's why we got the price target upgrade. That is why we got the price target upgrade. And again, this was the actual note by Bank of America here. So that was a big deal. That was a really, 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 really big deal for Palantir. And I think it's really important for people to recognize kind of why that was important. What do we have? All about growth next quarter. Yeah. And so this is the interesting thing, right? Bank of America is basically saying, hey, we think that Palantir is going to be able to grow without saying that they're going to grow, right? So implicitly in this price target upgrade, they were like, yeah, Palantir at 18% year-over-year growth, we think is still valued at almost $40 billion because we really don't think they're going to grow at 18% year-over-year. We think they're going to grow a lot more than that because they have this competitive moat around implementing AI infrastructure correctly. And I hate when I say that it sounds like a buzzword because I feel like, I've been saying this for a long time. We've heard Karp say it a billion times, but it's real. Like sometimes you got to embrace the buzzword. You cannot implement AI if you cannot protect and trust the data. And there are just very few companies, if any, outside of Palantir that are able to do that in a way that is so granularly focused in terms of the minutia of data of the company, but can also do it in hyperscale because they've done it for some of the biggest organizations in the world, like the DoD. and obviously like the CDC, the NIH, right? There's all these organizations that they've been able to do for. And so that's why it's really exciting to kind of see this price upgrade increase that we are getting right now for Palantir. Adam, I see you in the chat. Let me get you real quick. I'm going to send you a link on Twitter. While Adam's coming in, I want to say one thing. Okay, so a little birdie told me something. Okay, there is a YouTube channel that has close to, I think, 250,000 subscribers that is going to be making a video on Palantir. This is a YouTube channel that is not in the stock market niche on YouTube, meaning the YouTube algorithm shows them to totally different types of people than like the Meet Kevin, Jeremy audience, all that stuff, right? So it's not a stock market channel. It is one of the most highly respected channels on YouTube. It's a small channel at 200K, which I know it's crazy to say that, but in the grand scheme of YouTube, right, it's a lot more smaller, which lets you know how small I am at 20K. But it is very well respected. They've had videos that have gone really viral, really strong tech, what do you call it? Essays, video essays, breakdowns. They cover a lot of stuff, and the video is coming out. Now, I don't know if the video is coming out next week or the week after next week, but it is coming out, and it's going to be one of those videos that's going to focus on Palantir's ability to kind of fight terrorism, and it's going to be an exciting video because of who's uploading the video. So I'm very, very excited to see where that's coming from. All right, we've got Adam. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Did you get a new mic?
You want to laugh? I'm straight up using artificial intelligence to cancel out all my sound and echo. It's AI, I swear to God, not even joking. It's NVIDIA and AI. It's the best sound noise. Like, it's blasting my AC. It's like this close to my screen. Blasting. Everything's on, all my mics. And you remember before you used to like scream at me. I was scared to even like go on your channels. And you don't hear it now. It's unbelievable.
It's beautiful. No, it's great. It's great. And I've been hearing about that AI noise cancellation stuff from like Adobe and video, so that's amazing.
It is so cool, but you can't have your mic go through your camera. You have to have like an actual desktop mic. And so that's why I'm using the Yeti. And I kind of like it. I like this like podcast look, kind of. It differentiates myself. But yeah, I'm using that. So it's a lot easier and better for me to make videos now.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I mean, the news doesn't stop. What was your reaction when you woke up and you saw Bank of America say this deserves to be an $18 stock, not a $13 stock?
All right. I'm very happy about Palantir, man. I'm happy to be a Palantir bull. I'm happy to talk about Palantir. The dynamics shifted so much. Nobody cared about Palantir. Even 2 months ago, you were like castrated. Like everyone hated you for talking about Palantir. All of a sudden, Palantir is a cool kid.
I mean, there were some OGs who loved the content, but still, you know, people like the stock's down 90%. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about, right?
Yeah, when I say everybody, you guys know what I mean. Besides for our like little bubble, but now Palantir is so cool. You know, TD Ameritrade is initiating content on us, which is fantastic. You know, Yahoo Finance is doing it. That guy from CNBC, that younger white dude, always loved, you know, Carp. And all of a sudden, there's YouTube channels. I'm not hating, guys. I'm happy that there's YouTube people covering us with like 500,000 subscribers and stuff like that. And, bro, they can't even explain what Palantir does. It's the funniest thing in the world. But everyone's covering Palantir and SoFi, by the way. I noticed a lot of YouTubers covering Palantir and SoFi. Listen, I'm excited Bank of America is getting it right. $18 price target is beautiful. There's going to be, it's so reluctant. Other analysts, they don't want to raise the price target of Palantir. However, I think it's coming. Also, as per TD Ameritrade, the two people that covered them today, and Bank of America, I think what me and you were saying was absolutely right. All we have is the tip of the iceberg. We don't know what's behind. We don't know what the package is. And if Carp is not a total liar, and I hope he's not, and I believe that he's not, there's going to be major upsets to the upside when it comes to earnings. And we don't need much. All we need to do is come in at 20% earnings year over year. And I think at 20%, Palantir is going to keep going up, because then that's going to get us to the next wave, right up into the S&P 500. I'm super excited, bro. I just want to talk Palantir. I love it, bro. I love it. And there's so much content we can talk about. Bro, do you remember like we were able to do a video a day easy, 2 videos a day easy. But now we can literally make, I'm not even joking, like 7 or 8 videos a
You
day.
could. You theoretically could.
So much information. Like,
There's so
bro,
much.
I still have I have a video about the vice president of AWS shouting out Palantir. I have a video of there was the Federal Advisory Board, the Secretary of the Air Force. She adopting AI technology for the government. She's writing like a book with this other doctor. I have this whole video that I didn't put out. Like I have at least 5 videos on deck. I can't even put them out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming. I think the thing about Palantir that interested you and me as content creators a while ago was just the intersection of where it lied. You got Peter Thiel, you got Alex Karp, you got DoD, defense, philosophies, AI, business. There's just so much stuff, and that's what made the company exciting to cover. But when it was a $6 stock, it was like everyone's like, you're just talking out of thin air, right? Even though he met fucking Zelensky, and everyone's like, it's a $6 stock. But now when the price goes up and then all that news starts compounding on each other, it's hard, you know?
So it's funny. I was listening to some YouTube channels, and now, of course, all the people that were shitting. It's so funny. The guy, I forgot his name. He rolls with Darton, I believe. And Samuel, the guy's name is like OLX on Twitter. You know who he is. He did it.
OLX?
Um,
Fuck, I have no idea.
hold on one
OLX?
second. One second. I'll give you the guy's name.
You fellas have been spot on for a long time. Let's hope Karp is not Alex Mahinsky. He's a confident guy. Sometimes I feel a little too confident. And see, I think that a little bit too. That's the thing about Karp is like, I don't think he wants to stand up in 5 years with like a $20 stock, knowing he said this company could 20x what it was in 2021 when the stock was $25. I think he's going to fulfill his promise because he just, he wants to be that guy. He doesn't want to be the guy that said bullshit. At least that's not how Karp comes off to me.
Nah, he's very confident. I can't find his name. I'll look through it. But anyways, he says it's so funny when you're a bear, you have 4 good years out of every 5. I mean, bull, you have 4 out of every good 5 years. And all these people that had this bear case theses that were laughing at us, I was waiting, bro, patiently, and I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth. I was waiting patiently. And there's going to be a very specific point of Palantir when it hits $20 that I'm going to make a very, very special video about it. Specifically $20. Now they're saying, oh, all the idiots are back. Palantir is now going through the roof, but you guys are not going to lock in your gains. So even though you guys are up 100%, 50%, 20, 30%, you guys are not going to lock up your gains. So you guys are morons. So now we're morons for believing Palantir, and we're morons for not selling because we still believe it's still going to go up. It's like, bro, you can't win. You can't win. It's so... And I don't care. I'm going to laugh to the bank. We both are, bro.
The amount of people, I'm starting to genuinely believe people don't understand this company at all. They just don't get it. And that's okay, but they just don't get it. And for the longest time, I thought I didn't understand the company, which is why I spent so much fucking time trying to understand the company. I would say I understand the company now. And look, it could still retrace back to $11, and I still would be happy because I feel like I understand the company far more deeply than I did a year ago, and I would be very happy buying it at $11. But the people that are acting like it's going back to $3, $4, $5 on whatever fucking DCF they're using, they're really not taking into account what's going on with AI. And it's like, either you haven't used ChatGPT, you haven't done any research, you haven't listened to any expert talk about AI. This is not Web3. This is not crypto where maybe it will get there. This is like happening. And if it's happening and Palantir is one of those players, you're either in or you're out when it runs. Just like SoFi, like you and I know our portfolios are looking nice today. We were in. That's why we get the reward of the portfolio looking nice. You're either in or you're out. If you're not in,
So,
not in.
yeah, man. The guy's name is Andres, by the way, from Twitter that I was talking about. Andres, you know him.
ONDRE. No, he's been a Palantir bull forever.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's not what I meant. I meant that, people laugh at you for being a bull, but you're right 4 out of 5 years.
Oh,
So
that's
they
what he
only
said.
get to laugh at you.
Okay.
Yeah, you only get to. So like average, I have it right here. So the average bear market, what do you think the average bear market is? Like modern day stocks after Great Depression? Give me out of the top of your
I
head.
think I know the correct answer, so I'm gonna guess a little bit higher. I think it's like 15 months.
That's the average bear market.
Yeah.
What do we lose in the average bear market? You're spot on. 15 months. What's the
Oh
average
wow,
loss?
I thought it was actually 10 months. I think we lose typically 20%, right?
Yeah. So the 10 months is because me and you spoke about this before. So there's different calculations of modern day, and if you want to calculate, COVID and right now. But let's say it's 15 months, 1.3 years. So average downturn 33%, right? Average downturn 33%.
Okay.
What's the average bull market?
In terms of how long it lasts?
Yeah.
48 months? 4 years?
Yes. You're spot on. 4.5 years.
Okay.
Plus or minus, depending on the calculation. What does it go up? You're doing great.
Damn, I don't want to be overly hype and say more than 100%. So I'm going to go like 60% over those 4 years.
153.
153. Okay.
So, you know, it's very, very easy to shit on a bull and always be a perma bear, right? Am
Yeah.
I using the right word?
Yeah, correct.
Bro, these people are sitting on their ETFs. These people are sitting on their shitty gains. You know, they're making their 10%, and it's great and good for you. Good for you. If when I'm gonna be 70 years old, that's gonna be my investment thesis. But until then, I'm gonna be aggressive because you can afford to be aggressive. And they had a really good year of laughing at people, so laughing at people.
2022
But
was great for
now,
them. Yeah.
yeah, great. And you had to eat it, bro. Eat it. And I was like, damn, we got a DCA. We got a DCA. And it's so hard, so hard. And now it feels good, bro. It feels good to make content.
But looking back on it, it's like it was so hard to DCA, and now as the stock goes back to reality, because like obviously the economy continues to grow, right? And you all realize how easy it is for that to make sense when it's a bull market. It shouldn't have been that hard to DCA, even though it hurts. And I think this was one of my first bear markets where that's the lesson. The next bear market that comes, and I don't know however old I'll be, I'm gonna happily DCA because I don't think I happily DCA. I mean, I happily DCA'd in Palantir when it was 12 and 13, early 2022. Then when it fell to 6 and 7, I wasn't happily DCAing, and I should have been happily DCAing, and I wasn't. Next time that happens, I'm gonna just happily DCA.
Look, we all gain experience. You gained experience right now. I'll tell you one thing that you don't have the experience on yet, and most people don't have the experience on. I was lucky to win. I just miscalculated it. You have to sell at one point.
Yeah.
You know, you have to sell. You know, I sold Moderna. I made $1 million on it. You know
$1
how
million?
hard it was to sell? Yeah.
Wait, you made
Moderna.
$1 million on Moderna?
I made $1 million. I didn't like
you bought
make
it?
I made 1 million on top. I put in like 400,000 something, and I ended up cashing out plus or minus like within tens of thousands of $1 million. So
Wait,
I don't want to
So
lie.
you bought it what in early 2020 and sold at the end of 2020?
I was buying as early as 30s. So my averages was between 30s and I wanted to say off the top of my head 30s to 100. I was buying 120. I ended up selling at 280 and 320. It ran up to like 500 plus or minus off the top of my head. And I was so mad because, you know, at a 1.5 or 1.3, 1.4 I had total with my initial buy-in. Every percent is huge, right? Huge numbers.
Yeah.
So when it went up to 500 and change a share, I was like, wow, but you can't have regret because then all of a sudden the price went down. I used that money to get into Palantir. I was dying for it to go down. So I sold, but so it says 430, but Palantir actually, Moderna actually hit 5 something at one point.
Okay.
It didn't close the day, but it hit it. So I sold right at high 2s and low 3s, but I was buying at 30s to 60 most of my portfolio. I bought Moderna. My license plate said Moderna for the longest time. I told you about this. I don't know if you remember. So my license plate said Moderna. When people were still thinking COVID didn't exist, I was in Mexico and I told people this is going to change the entire world because you know me, I'm like a geek when it comes to these things. And people laughed at me. And whether you believe it or not, I called that right. So I was like, okay, let me put my money where my mouth is. Now people are like, Adam, that was a common sense move. Of course you're going to buy Moderna. No, not when nobody knows the company, not when Moderna has nothing proven, not when this is a brand new technology. Now it's easy to say, of course, Moderna. But what about all the other companies that were also making cures, right? You wanted to invest in Johnson & Johnson and Novavax and a bunch of others. So I called that one right. I was waiting to get out of that to buy Palantir, and I ended up investing in Palantir and reinvesting in the market. I timed it wrong. I got out right. I got out and made money. I ended up getting back in the market slowly, too fast. 6 months. The difference, 6 months. If I would have waited 6 more months, I would have cleared 8 figures with all my investments. But that 6 months made such a big difference. And it is what it is. And I'm clawing back and fighting. And it was a super, super hard for the longest time. And thankfully, I fought my way back in, and I'm in a much better position, and I believe that my holdings right now. But yes, $1 million off Moderna. It's not just. Oh, say again.
Are you green on Palantir now? Or
Yes, I am green on Palantir. It was a very, very long ride. It was very hard DCAing. Bro, it was hard. It's hard, It's very, very hard, especially after taking a huge loss like that, Like this is a hard game. It's like playing poker. Mentally, it's so draining when this is happening in the market. You're up and then you're down
because
and
when
up
you
and
make $1
down.
million and then all of it gets thrown into the market and then it just goes away, it's like that's tough, bro.
You
I am green
know,
on Palantir for those who are asking. Yes, I am green on Palantir.
um, yeah, man, but it gives you experience. So I can only tell you one thing. I don't know what your number is going to be. I don't know what's good for you. My life changing and your life changing is two different numbers, right? I'm assuming your life changing is going to be a lot less. You need to get ahead. Your life changing, if I would have to put a number on it, or what I would think it is buying a house. If you can make enough money for a down payment for a house, for some real estate, I would assume that's a nice number for you. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to like judge it, but you got to remember at one point you do have to be able to get out. You need a plan to get out,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
and stocks is gambling at the end of the day. Everybody wins and loses, but if you play it long enough, you're gonna lose, Unfortunately.
And it's just crazy. It's just been such a fun journey as I think obviously, I've made videos about this, but the community that we're all a part of and built, it's the coolest thing in the world, bro. Like just friends and like people that have kind of bonded around this shit. And then the news every day, all of us are trying to break it down, analyze. Like these analysts talking about regulatory frameworks, like we've known this shit for so long because we listened to Carp that you need to implement it in a meaningful way. Now, do we know exactly what that means to the T? No, but we can understand it at a pretty macro level. And we should be like, oh, if Palantir is the only one that could do this, stock should be higher. And today, finally, Bank of America's like, yeah, we talked to some clients and they said the same shit. So stock's higher. So
I'm super excited, man, and I still think that there's going to be a lot of other analysts out there that are going to upgrade Palantir. A lot of people are talking about Palantir. They're becoming the new rage of everything, and all we need, easier said than done, but all we need, man, please just allow us to. I got the same exact bottle. It's literally right there.
literally, the
Please,
same
yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah,
That's,
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. The 7 a.m.s that I had that. So just please, please, please let Palantir beat expectations. Let this please come in. Yo, if Palantir somehow manages to get to 20 to 30% revenue, Palantir can run to $100 a share. I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not
No, it
saying
could
now.
happen. I mean, it could absolutely happen. Again, and the reason you don't sound crazy saying this, I would say you would sound crazy saying this 5 months ago. AI has changed everything. Literally, the numbers of value in terms of market capitalization, it's there. It's there is their market to capture. Like it's literally waiting for them. They just have to go get it. So it's not crazy at all to be like it could run to 100. It could. It could happen in a couple of years. It could happen.
So let's just think about this. Let's say all of a sudden this AI thing is real. Let's say we hit NHS contract, which it seems like that's where it's leaning towards. Um, let's say we hit this Titan program, that's another Billy. Let's say all of a sudden the demand actually goes up for Palantir. We hit 25% revenue, getting towards that 30% revenue. All of a sudden, the rebuilding of Ukraine. Who me get to the mic? You can't hear me, okay?
Yeah, they were talking to you. Just get a little closer. That's all. Otherwise, you're good though.
Yeah. So hopefully that works.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay?
You're good. Yep,
Yeah.
you're good.
And all these things that are going to come together full circle, all of a sudden there is this crazy demand. All of a sudden we get into the S&P 500 and it's just like boom, 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 snowball, snowball, snowball. And it is possible we can get there in the next 12 months. I'm not saying it's probable. I'm not saying it's likely. I am saying there is a probability of that actually happening if everything goes according to plan. Because it's not, look, there's one thing dreaming. And dreaming is we have literally nothing there, like an AMC and Bed Bath & Beyond. We have nothing there, but we're dreaming. Another thing is when you have so many possibilities of if that actually happens, and you will get there. And that's where Palantir is right now. It's not like we don't have anything going for us. We have a lot of seeds being planted. Unlikely, but possible because of everything that we have in front of us. And then the S&P 500 is just going to put the cherry on top. We'll see what ends up happening.
Adam, we've got some breaking news, my man. We've got some breaking news.
Hold on, what's happening?
It's not Palantir related, but we've still got some breaking news. You ready for this? You ready for this one?
Please let it be truest.
No. It's actually it's just something we got to talk about because it's happening right now. Cathie Wood has sold about 350,000 shares of Tesla, and she has purchased.
No, you're lying.
170,000 shares of Facebook. Of Meta. What is what? Yo, what? Bro. What?
That is crazy.
What? That's I'm gonna send the picture so you guys can see it. Yo, what do you guys think of that, chat? What do you think of that? I know this is not Palantir related, but what do you I mean, it matters because Cathie owns Palantir, and she's obviously consolidating, or this is a new position, so she's getting rid of. Yo, this is gonna make the Tesla bulls really upset. Yo, if I'm a Tesla bull, so Carlos, we're about to do finance check. Oh, this is gonna be great. Carlos fucking hates Meta. He thinks Zuckerberg is literally taking little girls and putting them in a dungeon. Cathie Wood, yeah, it's stupid, right? It doesn't make sense. Cathie Wood selling Tesla for Meta means she's calling the top on Tesla. And I don't know if she's right about that, but it seems like she's calling a top on Tesla. Because Meta over Tesla? Like, yeah, Steve just texted me. Wow. Okay, what are your raw reactions to that? I'm going to send you guys the pictures, guys. One sec.
How many shares did she sell of Palantir, of Tesla?
350 for Tesla, and she bought about 170 of Meta.
1,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's a significant amount. We're talking about tens of millions, right?
We're talking about, I mean, she's selling that's a lot of Tesla. That's not a little bit of Tesla.
So the ETFs have to have weighted averages, right? They have like a quota to meet. I know that much. I think it's, I don't know. I think people are going to be so freaking tight because she was like the main driving factor of Tesla.
This is big. This is big. I mean, you don't sell Tesla for no reason. I mean, especially when you just put out a fucking bull case that they're going to get to 2,000 a share or whatever. What is the chat saying? Dude, she is rebalancing. No, but she's initiating a new position with Meta, man. That's like...
It's a brand new position?
It's a brand new... That rebalancing means she buys the dip on Coinbase. Why isn't she buying Coinbase? Why, like, Meta? I mean, maybe the rebalancing argument has a point. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's just... She should be buying Roku, Zoom. She should just be switching money around. That's it. But she sold Nvidia and Shopify as well. And she bought TSM and TTE. Those, I don't think they've had TTD. That means all three of these are new. I might be wrong on all three. I know Meta is definitely new.
What's TTD?
Trade Desk. It's an advertising company. They basically just do digital advertising, but they're like the infrastructure for a lot of the digital ads on the internet.
I mean, the problem is she became synonymous with Tesla. And at this particular point in time, anything she does is like, oh, you're against Tesla. I mean, she's maybe locking in some gains. She has so many losses locked in, you know?
You guys are saying rebalancing means Tesla got too high, sold some to add into a new position. Look, maybe you guys are right about that. Maybe, I mean, obviously that is correct. That is the definition of rebalancing. But Meta, I guess why didn't she buy more Palantir? Why is she buying Meta? Like, that's just a weird one.
What does she see in Meta? So right now, Meta is going to be going head toe-to-toe with Apple, while Google is going head toe-to-toe with Microsoft, right? These are the behemoths. Is that what we're seeing right now?
I mean, that's what we're seeing. And our argument is that Palantir is going to go to toe-to-toe with all these motherfuckers in a couple of years.
So I think the interesting thing is Palantir complements all of these companies. They don't have to compete with them. They're just complementing them. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah. I mean, that is also true. Okay, let me ask your question. Let me ask your thoughts on this in regards to Palantir. So, the NHS deal. I know you saw Rishi is meeting with Alex and they're going to get baseball and hot dogs or whatever. How likely do you think it is that we don't get the NHS deal? I know the BBC interview, Alex actually talked to the UK media and they questioned him on that. I think he did a great job defending himself. How do you feel about this NHS deal actually happening?
I mean, I don't see a world where we don't get it. I think Rishi Sunak is pushing this country to he's trying to revitalize United Kingdoms. Not that it's weak. He's just trying to make it better. Like, its best times are behind them. So he's trying to make them a global power again, right? To mean something. So it seems like he's going behind this whole artificial intelligence push, and whether it's true or not, people are getting behind this drive. And I think Palantir, by saying that they're going to make a central hub of Europe for artificial intelligence, among other companies, not just Palantir, Palantir is kind of like playing the game and is like, give us this NHS contract. Also, one very important thing is he said in his tweet about artificial intelligence, he put up a little picture of a hospital and he says, healthcare, artificial intelligence for healthcare. It's on his tweet. If you check his tweet, you'll see it. I'm not even like exaggerating it. He had a little line. He said, we're going to, push artificial intelligence for healthcare. And he had a little hospital. So I don't see a world where we don't get that. As a matter of fact, go ahead.
No, I was saying I don't see a world either. I really don't. I think Rishi literally said he was at some conference today and he also literally spoke about Palantir and he was just like, he did, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he was at a London Tech Week or something like that. So some event, basically it's a tech event for London. And he says that the United Kingdoms is going to be, I'm paraphrasing, is going to be revitalized. There's companies that are putting a lot of money and effort and resources into the United Kingdoms, one of which is Palantir. He said, one of which is Palantir, which is building a artificial intelligence headquarter for Europe in London. And he mentioned that there's a lot of venture capitalist firms that are putting money into UK right now. And he says that we need to lead the way in artificial intelligence. We need to be strong. Again, UK has never been the same after World War II. They're trying to revitalize it.
I think by them having the AI HQ there in UK means they're to say they want us to become part of UK society, so they can't really call Palantir a foreign company. I agree. I think the brand building they're doing there is going to establish them. And man, when we get think about that as a catalyst. You got $550 million worth of a deal coming in, all the implications of managing 70 million people's healthcare. Then you got the S&P 500. Then you've got this AI market. Then you got Carp saying we're getting more demand in a fucking month than we got all of last year. And I think the BofA notes actually explained why they're getting that demand, because companies need the shit to be done properly. And Palantir is the only name in town that can do it properly. As Carp said, people are singing their song. If Q2 numbers actually hit it out of the park, which I'm skeptical of, because I think Q3, Q4 is when it's actually going to work. But if Q2 breaks the like 0%, 2% guidance they gave us, and we get 10, 15% growth quarter over quarter, and this AI craze is still going, this is going to be a fun year. This is going to be fun.
Listen, if we get it, we keep running. If we don't get it, there's a pullback, and there goes your opportunity to buy. Although nobody's going to buy because you guys are all full of shit.
Well, but see here, like, do you want to buy at this price? This is the conundrum. It's like, I don't really want to buy at this price. But
I say if there's a pullback, so I'm saying everyone always says, everyone prays for the pullback, but when the pullback happens, nobody ends up buying. And then the price goes up and they're like, I wish there was a pullback. It's the funniest thing. Am I buying at these prices? I'm not buying at these prices, but I already have a lot of it, including many options, which I thought were completely dead, but some of them are freaking revitalized. Palantir options, go figure.
You had like what, $15 leaps, $20 leaps?
Bro, I have everything leaps. I have over I have over 100 contracts. Like all of them were like 99% down, 95% down, 80 something. And now some of them that were down are actually positive. And the ones that are like 90% are now down to 70%. And the ones that were like 80% are like almost positive. And I'm like, holy shit. So I don't really need to sell Palantir as long as my options come back. Like if Palantir can get to $30, and I know it's super wishful thinking, but I probably am close to like 100K up on options. I'll be so happy because it was down. I have like a lot of options, like 40, 50 grand worth of options. Like it was
right.
It was bad plays, but maybe I come back. Plus I bought some. I was buying the dip options. So those options are up, like I said, 6 months timing. If I had just timed it 6 months differently, man, that would have been such a world.
Well, at least it's beyond $7. If it was still stuck there, it would have been even worse. So not bad.
Yeah, man.
Not bad at all.
Life is good, bro. Life is good. I'm excited. I'm excited for us to meet. I'm excited for the Palantir community. Like I really want to have a Palantir party. It's just so nice to talk about it when it's going up. It's so hard to listen to these miserable fucks, It's so happy when it's going up,
Yeah, I mean, I think the fun thing about covering Palantir when it was down was just like, What? Why are you
No,
laughing?
I'm laughing because I feel your pain when you say that. Like it was, and and we were in it, bro. Like I'm not saying we're the only ones, but we were two of the few, the handful of people actually covering Palantir. All of a sudden now, everybody that covered
In
Palantir at
terms
one
of
point.
YouTubers, I don't think there were. It was you, me, but Arnie wasn't really doing YouTube that much. He was doing more of his newsletter. What other YouTubers were there that were legitimately covering the company day to day when it was at $6-7? I genuinely, Sasha got out of it at $8-9. It was you. It was me. Chris doesn't make a YouTube channel. He stopped that. We did Palantir Weekly, obviously, but we would have rotating guests. Maybe Dom would be on one week, maybe Sachin.
So who do you look? Who do you have? You have Matt Money, Invest to Live, right? And Invest to Live.
Yeah, but they
They
didn't make
are
content every
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying. They're not full-time YouTubers and they make content, sparingly. So that's them. You have Palantir Vision that I don't know
Like
what
Adam,
happened. I
when the
don't know.
Microsoft partnership happened in fucking February, you and I were the only ones that made a video on it. Like, no, I was surprised. I Googled it. There was no fucking videos because I waited a day because I got fucking busy in life. And I'm like, no one made a video about this shit except Adam. I was like, what's going on?
Oh,
It's like no one was. And Jeremy hopped on, like, I don't know, a couple months ago or whatever. But
so bro, and listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. A lot of people cover Palantir for clout. Palantir price goes down to $7, $8. All of a sudden, nobody wants to cover Palantir. I'll tell you what I told Chris one time. I was really mad about the earnings. I think quarter 4. I was so
it was
mad. Or
Q3. I know which
Q3.
one. Q3 2022, August. It was when they said
Quarter
profitability
3.
2025. That's the one you were mad about.
My answer was very simple, guys. I am as pissed as anybody. I called it as it is. This is really shitty. However, I will give them 2023 before making a decision because I believe in the company. I said this. You guys can document it all you want. And mind you, every single down or up is a huge number for me. Huge. I mean, like,
Yeah.
like not weekly salaries, but, people's monthly salaries was what's happening here. So it's nice to be, to be right. And me and you were making it like crazy. And it's
And
hard.
the thing about content also is like, I think you and I will relate to this. I don't think you can be a content creator if you come around here and there. Like like a content creation is like you're in it and you're in it. Like you're in it every day. You're in it through the ups and the downs. Like you don't feel like making a video, motherfucker. A deal just happened. They just got $160 million from the Army Advantage. You're gonna talk about it or not? The stock went down on that news. You still gonna talk about it, or are you not? And I just feel like there weren't that many, and that's not shade to anybody. That's just like we've been through it, and so when it comes up, it's like we know what it feels like because we were there on those days because we believed it. We were seeing these deals like this is the Trafigura partnership. The
Huge,
the fucking
huge.
they're like solving climate change and no one's talking about it. And you and me in May of 2022 are like, are y'all not seeing this shit? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, it's man, I'm just happy. Yeah, I'm with you, and you see who makes content or not, and now it's the funniest thing. Right now is the funniest thing. You have people, bro. You have huge channels with 500,000 subscribers. You have small channels with 500 subscribers, and everybody is talking about Palantir, and it's so funny because people have they're explaining what Palantir is, and it's so funny. And I'm not mad. I'm happy. I'm happy.
I'm happy too. I love it. I love more
it.
people talking about it because it just makes the overall awareness bigger. Like if you're a real content creator, you should love this shit. You should fucking love it.
But if I'm not mistaken, Sasha, when he got out, I like Sasha content, by the way. I'm gonna say it right here. But he didn't really have a lot of Palantir either. He was riding clout too. He even
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know how much Palantir he had. I just know he was pissed after that same earnings you and I were pissed about. Just like everyone was pissed. And he made the video of it. Bro, I told you I went to that investment fund manager that has a couple million Palantir, and he told me Sasha's video was the best Palantir recap video of Q3 earnings because he said Sasha pointed out everything that was wrong. And then I asked him, well, why didn't you sell if Sasha sold? And he was like, because I believe in the company. And I was like, well, there you go. Then the video doesn't fucking matter because yeah, you can say everything's bad, but then if you're gonna sell, it's like, okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it was definitely rough times. Right now is better. I pray obviously that there's not going to be a pullback. If there is a pullback, we'll be buying the dip most likely as long as nothing changes. Footing and foundations need to stay the same. As long as footing foundations, the guts of the company is true, you invest and you stick. If something changes, then my thesis changes. So far nothing changed, and one of the greatest things that people are not understanding is, and people thought I was crazy when I said this. I think you called it too. Around 4 or 5 months ago, he hired a speaking coach. Alex Karp.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
heard us. They listened to us. And I love that because he shifted and pivoted. Today, TD Ameritrade mentioned something. They said, look, it's not only about having the goods, it's about taking advantage of the hype of the goods. And they said that Palantir, having this AIP platform, is taking full advantage of the situation in a good way. They have the goods and they're taking advantage because they hired a marketing coach, because they hired a PR team, because of all of this. Palantir is actually getting in front of it because for the longest time they were playing checkers, everyone was playing chess. Now they're finally playing 4D chess.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And again, as soon as it popped on earnings, I told you this right after the earnings call ended, our live stream. I was like, it's going back to 7. Like, you can attest to this. You're like, yo, it's 10:30. Should I buy more calls? I'm like, Adam, it's going back to 7. I could not have been more wrong. And then when the live stream the next day, I was like, guys, I love it, but I think it's going back to 7. And then every fucking day it just keeps going. So I think that's how you know when someone's like really into a stock, when they can see the best news of their life and they're like, I don't believe it. Because I don't you don't think it's real. And so now if people ask me, do I think it's going back to 7? I would say no, because fundamentally the market dynamics have changed fundamentally. And if you study anything about AI, you realize what's happened. And that's, I think, what you and me are trying to make in our videos to really get that point across. But the markets have changed, and it's changed like that. And now I think it's a lot harder for it to go to 7.
The guy from TD Ameritrade, he was going out over the charts. Now, I only trust Jesse's charts from now on, by the way. He's the best.
That guy's awesome. I love him.
Bro, I've never seen somebody actually call all his plays, document the plays, explain why it's going to happen. It actually works out, and he's off to the next play. And if anybody doesn't like it, he's like, I'm going to go ride my bicycle. Bye. I'm like, bro, this guy is pure gold. In any case, the guy from TD Ameritrade comes out today, and he says that there's resistance at low 14s and low 16s. And he says, look, the RSI is going through the roof, but this doesn't show any signs of retreatment. They're like, every time it retreats, it's bought back up. Also, short interest, again, I didn't double check this, but 9% of float is short interest already. So there is some short interest happening on Palantir, which would be very, very interesting to see what ends up happening. Shout out to Matt Money. Matt Money didn't really sell. Did Matt Money, you sold out of Palantir?
No, he's joking.
He's trolling. Yeah.
Where he's the word blunt. That's his new word. So that's why he's like, I bluntly sold out of Palantir.
Yeah. I got it. I picked that up. Man, it's just a good time.
It's exciting, bro. It's exciting to cover this shit, bro. It was exciting when you and me were making videos when it was 6, because I was like, bro, this partnership is legit. This partnership is legit. This partnership is really cool. This shit, motherfucker, IL6. No one cares. This is just really cool to us. And now when the market starts to recognize it, this shit just becomes cooler, because now like the price kind of reflects that the news itself matters. And again, it could go right back down to fucking 11, and it's still fun covering it.
What would happen? What would happen, bro? Like, seriously, think about this. Palantir is going to be a Google. Palantir is going to be a Microsoft. That's going to be bad. That's going to be wild. How unbelievable would that be? Bro, I can't wait for my son to wake up one day and be like, Dad, I wish I was alive or I was old enough to invest in Palantir at a certain time. And I'm like, well, you have a shit ton of Palantir shares.
Your pops was helping you out, buddy. Your pops knew.
That would be cool, man. It is fun. I'm so excited. Like, I wanted to come on this live just to come on the live because I'm enjoying thoroughly speaking about this. It's fun. You have a smile on your face. When the price is down, you're like, I can't do this no more.
It's the process, bro. It's the but like what makes this fun for you and me is because we were there when the price was tanking. And I don't hold that with a badge of honor. Please don't get me with the 414 people. I'm not trying to be like, I was there when it was. I'm just trying to say, I love making content because I'm a fucking content creator. And like, I was making Palantir content back then because I love talking about the company. I'm making it now. Nothing's really changed outside of the public perception of the price and obviously the price itself, but it's still as fun as it was. It's just a different type of fun now that, people are making money. And I think that's what happens in every bull market, but it's only fun because we didn't just pop back up because, now the price is up. It's like, we were there at $5. I remember doing a live stream when ARK sold the last of the Palantir and I sold the last of my ARK. I looked them dead in the face. I was like, ARK, this is my Robinhood. And I swiped up. All my fucking RKK is gone. And then I bought Palantir at $10.80. I'm like, I put it into Palantir, which was still not the fucking dip because it went down to $6, right? That's what made it hard to keep buying because I was like, all right, well, I got it at 10. Now it's back at 6.
Speaking of which, I ended up buying more Truist today. I told you, right? I was talking to Ahmed today and I'm like, I don't know, but I bought like $80,000, bro.
Yeah, bro. I just saw that text. I didn't even get to respond to it. I was like, oh, holy shit! I just saw you spent $80,000 on Truist. I was like, all right, well,
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna get a
I
nice
like
dividend.
that kind. Yeah, gonna get a nice. Listen, if you make a few grand, a few million, you put it into a solid dividend play, not so much growth, just don't lose your money. You can live off of that really comfortably. That's the goal. When you win, you win.
Well, that's
Shout
what I'm
out to
trying to do.
Kelly.
Yeah, shout out to Kelly. Kelly, thanks for being here. She's had a pretty stressful week, so I'm happy she's back on YouTube. She had to go through some personal stuff. So Kelly, we're happy you're back. I've made some options plays that Chris and I have been sort of public about what we're doing, and that's really to build a nest egg for me in the next year and a half. Because if those hit the way we think they can hit, it's gonna be a lot of money, and all that money straight to a dividend fund, not even touching it, and that's it, right? Getting out of growth for that money. But bro, like I've looked at my portfolio the past week. I am up more money than like my dad would make after 6 months of hard fucking work. And it's just like you're looking at this shit like, wait a second. I put my money in this company because I saw that the market undervaluation, blah, 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 all the technical stuff that you look at in fundamentals to realize this was a good, investment. You invested. The company does what you think it's going to do. The market reacts the way you think it's going to react. And then you're just up thousands and thousands. It's just like, it's insane. And it's like, it's given me a new profound respect to recognizing these opportunities, being humble enough to realize that you're not going to get all of these right. So you really got to do the due diligence before you invest the capital. And Palantir is just one of those, right? People who started watching us at 7. And there was a mom that commented under my video yesterday saying her son is like 17 or 18 and he's like up on his Palantir. And she's like, where'd you hear about Palantir stocks from? And she's like, instead of watching Netflix or porn, he's watching like your YouTube videos and he's like learning. And it was the most heartfelt comment ever. And so it's really cool, because people are actually like learning about shit.
It's really amazing. And bro, I'm gonna say this again and again, and I get some shit, and I defend you a lot, rightfully so. Not because I defend you because I want to. Bro, the guy is 25 years old. He's learning. Like, give it a break. What's gonna happen when I'm gonna be 30 and 35 as long as he keeps learning. And that's the goal of life. Like, when I hit again and I could put away for the dividends, I want to do something very similar to what Jesse's doing. I want to put away a small amount of my portfolio, which is a small amount, is going to be relatively large, and play the markets, play some options, learn how to do charts, learn how to do technicals, go ride a bicycle, The guy is the best, bro. Anytime somebody says something, he's like, yo, I made 800 grand this year already. I'm going to ride my bicycle. Like,
he's like, I'm going to fuck what you have to say on Twitter. It's like, I'm not going to let your Twitter opinion affect you. It's amazing.
Bro, that is such a flex, bro. Like, it's so, like, people are talking about Chicken Genius made in 2 weeks $100,000 on Palantir. This guy out Chicken Genius the shit out of Chicken Genius. Like, yo, listen, Chicken Genius got the Colt, okay? But Jesse outperformed Chicken Genius by far, and that's not a knock on Chicken Genius. And not just once, but several times, calling it like crazy. Like,
because Jesse actually understands technicals. I mean, I think Chicken Genius gets technicals, but I don't know if did the technicals say to sell Palantir at $9? Because I don't know what technicals are saying to sell it at $9.
Because Jesse's technical said buy.
Jesse's technical said buy this fucking stock right now.
Yo, listen, he did a hood play right now. I put in 6K on it. I'm like, yo, first I put in 1,000. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do another 5 because I'm like, I didn't even ask questions, bro. We literally have like 24 people that are following him, and I know like a little crew. And
I'm
like,
researching Robinhood. I like his argument for Robinhood, but I don't know yet enough about Robinhood. Like, I get the gap profitability. So I'm still researching more before I can agree with him on Robinhood. But he's been right about everything else. So maybe he's fucking.
Right. I mean, he's great. He's retired. He's 42 years old. I'm 40 right now. I'm hoping by 42 I will be in the same place. I got sidetracked a little bit because of this last market, but don't, when you're down, get back up. It's hard. It was hard. Get back up. I hope that at 42 I'll be fully retired. That was I had a plan before by 45, and I'm just going to be playing the market like this for fun. But most of the money is going to be in interest-bearing dividends.
That's the right way. So we put Jesse's in Jesse's Twitter. If you follow him, let him know Amit and Adam sent you. Okay, his Twitter's in the chat. I'm putting Adam's Twitter in the chat as well. So make sure you follow Adam. He was nice enough to join me today. If you follow Jesse, just let him know Amit and Adam sent you. And Yeah.
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
get out of here. I just want to I'm gonna go eat
Yeah, I'm
dinner
about to
and
be out
then
of here
feed
too
my
because I got
daughter.
finance junkies. We got Farzad in 5 minutes. So if you guys want to hear
Nice.
more about Tesla, we're going to be talking with
Just
Farzad in 5 minutes.
want to give a shout out my man Palantir Long that has 44,444 Palantir shares. He actually contacted Psycho Bunny and he says, "Yo, this YouTuber always wears Psycho Bunny because his son likes to point at the bunny," and that's true. So he's trying to get me sponsored to get me some free gear from Psycho Bunny because it's not cheap, and I have like my whole wardrobe Psycho Bunny, including this. So Psycho Bunny, if you're watching this, give me some free shit, yo.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you,
I'll
Adam,
see
for
you
joining.
later.
I'll see you
Take
next
care,
time.
everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you. All right, so that was it for today's daily Palantir shareholders meeting club. Again, the core thing that happened today was Bank of America upgrade on Palantir from $13 to $18. And the reason they did that is because they believe that the regulatory frameworks that Palantir is going to be able to operate in, privacy, data ethics, all that stuff Karp's been talking about philosophically is now materializing in the actual technology. And it's the sweetest price upgrade because of the reasoning for why they're upgrading the price. It's not just like, oh, then they can take over the AI market. It's like, no, these motherfuckers know what the fuck they're doing. And that's why they're upgrading the price. So cool. We're talking Tesla now in about 4 minutes. Finance Junkies live. Farzad will be joining us. We're talking everything Tesla. Is Tesla overbought? Is it oversold? Kathy Wood just sold some Tesla to buy Meta. Everything around Tesla, GM, Ford consolidating. So if you guys want to check it out, we'll be starting that in just a couple minutes. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Means the world. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Bye-bye.